Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Money Mindset Hub podcast. I'm your host, Carla Townsend, and I'm a money mindset and success coach for female entrepreneurs. So, in this episode, I am going to give you the juice on how to map out your next 20K month and beyond. Because let's face it, a lot of the time, maybe you feel like you are just not hitting the mark. And there's these money goals that you've set for yourself, these revenue goals that you've set for yourself, but for some reason, you just keep missing the mark. Well, in this episode, I'm going to debunk all of it for you and actually invite you to go and use one of the resources that I created, which is literally the one and only resource you're ever going to need to map out your next 10K, 20K, 50K, 100K month, whatever it is that you're going for, in this one simple resource. So let's dive in. Now, one of the main areas that I see where people trip up is because they set these income goals, but actually don't know whether or not that income goal is right for them. So maybe you're setting a target around a 20K month. You want to have a 20K month, but you just keep missing the mark because the offers that you're putting out, the price points that you're putting out, the amount of leads and conversions that you're getting are just not quite hitting the mark. And for some reason, you just keep falling short and like you are just chasing shit uphill. And just like for whatever reason, you can't crack the code. And how come it seems so easy for other people? Well, to put it to you simply, your offer suite is probably not optimized for your business. Maybe your marketing could use a bit of a cleanup, or the goal is just not right for you. The money goal is not right for you. That revenue goal is actually not the goal that you need to be setting. So, the reason I say this is because you and I are both on social media. We operate our businesses from social media. That is our number one marketing platform, unless you have a podcast like I do as well. So often you'll see thrown around 10K months, 20K months, 50K months, 100K months. And it almost conditions you to believe that, well, that's the goal you should set. If you're setting a goal of $8,000 months or 15,000 or 27,000, they may seem like odd numbers because everyone else is going for 20K, 50K, 100K, whatever it is. Insert whatever you believe that you should be setting to hit your goals and to live the life that you actually desire to live. Now, where people also slip up is this not understanding the difference. I mean, I know that on the surface of it all, you understand this. You understand the difference between revenue, profit, cash, sales. You get that. However, maybe you don't actually know if what you've got currently in your business, the offers or products even, because this resource that I've created, it doesn't matter whether you have a service-based business or a product-based business, it all applies. It is the key to know whether you're going to hit your 20K months and beyond or not. That goal that you've set for yourself, you're going to actually see, is that my true number? So I want you to think about your current number at the moment. What is your current money goal at the moment? Your monthly goal. Now, as someone who has had monthly recurring revenue for almost 3 years straight, so as of December, it will be 3 years that I've had monthly recurring revenue, and I've never started a month at zero. Now, that is so important. However, I also want you to know that in order to do that, you need to be able to have the offers, the pricings, the systems, the structures in order to hit those goals and to have that recurring revenue coming in. But it is such a flex not having to show up in your business and you're still making money. You've still got money coming through regardless. So even this week, I was reflecting upon this. And in this point in my life, when I still have, I have a daughter who's in grade 1 and I have 2 kids that are still at home with me. And right now, I have the most amount of spaciousness that I've ever had my entire life. And I owe it all to actually stacking that cash and that reoccurring revenue to be able to get to the point of in 2.5 years going all in with 3 kids under 4 and predominantly doing it all on my own until I could get to the point where I could, well, logically and analytically, because the accumulator archetype is super strong in me, till I can actually justify it. Now, there's a lot to be said about investing before you're actually ready and getting the support before you think you're ready. But I get it if you're like me and you take a bit longer to execute on that sort of thing. But it's gotten to this point of I really notice these same conversations coming up and these same goals and the money goals not getting hit. And the reasons why they're not getting hit is just purely not knowing or potentially avoiding the numbers, but also just not kind of knowing and picking a number because it's what everyone else is doing, or I think that's where I should be at, or I think that number is what's going to support me. So right now, I actually want to help you to be able to pick your goal, what your goal should be, your monthly recurring revenue goal. Or, if you're just getting started and you're sort of getting into the world of recurring revenue, what your target should be month on month. So what I want you to do as a great rule of thumb is the money that you've got coming in, right? That's your revenue in your business. That's your revenue. Now, you also need to know, well, what are the operating expenses? Like, what does it cost you to actually run your business month on month? And then at the same time, also know what's the profit of that. So you've got your revenue, then you deduct your expenses, then you actually also deduct your tax. Now, a great rule of thumb is 30%. So 30% of your revenue you put away for tax. Then whatever's left over, that's your actual profit. So right now, if I ask you these questions, and maybe you're going to cringe because maybe you don't know these numbers, it's okay. But we want to be serious about it because you're running a business here. It's not a hobby. We're here to make money at the same time, to create the life and business that we never want to escape, one that is abundant, one that is overflowing, one that is so fulfilling and empowering. So I want you to know right now, ask yourself these questions and be honest with the answers that come up. What is your recurring revenue? What is your monthly revenue? What does it cost you to run your business every month? How much do you actually need to put away for tax? And what's your profit? Now, if you don't know those, it's okay. But it also brings about this fantastic awareness to notice that things need to change up. You need to know those answers. You should know those answers because from that place, you can actually make strategic decisions. You can know exactly, what do I need to launch? What price points do I need to launch? How many leads? How many customers do I actually need? What's the structure that I need to be set up for my customer experience, for my journey, for my client retention strategy to hit those monthly targets, that recurring revenue and stacking the cash the way that you would like to, in a way that's supportive of your business and of your life and of your family. So if you don't know those, of course, I've got you covered, because in this remarkable resource that I created, I actually mentioned it to my mastermind that I'm actually a part of. And I said that, oh, I have this file and I created it so then I can literally just plug and play every offer I've got, every price point I've got, the amount of clients are coming in. And I know exactly what my revenue, my expenses, and my profit and my tax is month on month. And they were blown away and said, give me a copy. Like, I want a copy of that. And these are, 6 or 7 figure business owners that want a copy of that and don't have it. So this, trust me, when I say this will be the one resource that you go back to every single time you launch something, every single time you price something, every single time that you are just like, let's go, what's my target? Because the thing is, you need to know where you're going in order to be able to reverse engineer what you need to do in order to get there. So if you are sort of just like hoping month on month that, maybe I get X amount of sales and that'll kind of get me here. And then I'm not really putting away the tax. That's come up a bit, actually come up in conversation today with some ladies at the gym around getting caught out with tax debts and all these sort of things. And it can be avoided. And I want to help you avoid that. So I want you to know, if you don't know the answers to those, it's okay. I've got you covered. However, it can be so much more simple. So let's say, for instance, you do have a service-based business and you know that you've got private clients, maybe you've got a group program, maybe you've got a few evergreen products. And evergreen products, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. Evergreen products are just like, say, courses or ebooks or anything that's online. You create it once and you sell it again and again and again and again. And it doesn't take any live energy from you. So you've got those evergreen sort of products there. So there is an array of what you could do in this online space. Like, there is nothing off limits these days. The way that you deliver certain things, the way that you price, whether it be evergreen product or whether it be a product that you then deliver live and it has more close proximity to you, that's going to be different price points. But the cool thing is you get to create exactly what you want to create. You can price at whatever you want to price. It's more so around knowing, what do I need to sell in order to hit my goals? And then when I hit that goal that I think that I want, looking at the numbers and going, once I take out everything else though, once I take out my tax, once I take out my expenses, once I'm actually left with the profit, then how much of the profit am I actually going to be able to pay myself or reinvest back into the business? then that is when you can make these strategic decisions. So it doesn't matter whether you haven't been doing this and whether this is the first time that you've ever had anything like this, and maybe you've been setting goals and it's just not quite hitting the mark, then this is going to help you. Or whether you run a really successful business right now, but you're still like, oh, I think it's going good, but I don't really know. I've actually got this idea of these new couple of things I'm going to create. And this is, I think, what I'm going to price it at, but I'm not really sure how many people I need to get into that alongside my other products. This is going to help you. So anyway, with that said, there is a resource linked below for you. It will be the number one thing that you come back to every single month, every single quarter, every single time that you create an offer, you price an offer, you raise your prices, you decide on your marketing plan, you decide what the target is you're going to get to. You will honestly surprise yourself, because every time I've taken someone through this and they have gone, oh, maybe my goal was actually too small. More often than not, that's what it is. Like their monthly goal. Then they do the figures and they put everything in to this incredible resource. Then they realize, oh, I've actually been limiting myself. I've actually been setting these monthly targets and they're really achievable. So maybe I need to dream bigger. Maybe I need to do more. Or you see what's working and you go, okay, well, this is what I want to launch. Now what do I do? So without knowing where you're going, it's really hard to create a plan to be able to get there and to be able to execute on it. And instead, that's when, procrastination comes up. It's when perfectionism comes up. But it can be so much more simple than that. So if you need help with that, if you don't actually know what your revenue is, what your forecasted revenue is for the months coming, what your expenses are, what your profit is, how much your tax is, this is going to blow your damn mind. Now, if you are in my signature Money Mindset and Energetics course, Rich and Resilient, then you will have this. This is already in there. It's in module 4. But if you don't, and you're not ready for the full shebang of the Money Mindset and Energetics Mastery in Rich and Resilient, then please go and do yourself a favor and get this and set your target that is actually for you, specific to you, based on everything you currently have, all the price points that you currently have, and then allow yourself to stretch yourself. Allow yourself to see just how easy it can be to get to the goal that you want to get to and stack that cash. All right, resources down below in the show notes, and I will catch you in the next episode.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I would absolutely love it if you could please leave me a 5-star review and let me know your thoughts. Remember, everything you desire and deserve is just on the other side of your own resistance. So take that next step.